There's nothing quite like the old Nintendo curveball. People are talking about Mario Kart 9, wondering what it could be and how it could improve over 8, and instead, bam! Mario Kart 8 Deluxe DLC 5 years after release. Seems a bit late, but this is the best-selling game on the Switch. For a normal person, buying a new Mario Kart when you already own one on the system might not make sense, but releasing new tracks for a game that's the best-selling Mario title of all time makes all the sense. And dollars. So we're getting 48 new tracks over the course of 6 waves by the end of 2023. That is a lot of content, but people are already noticing something different about these tracks. They don't quite have the visual fidelity of the base Mario Kart 8. They're a bit more cartoony than what it typically features. And that has led to speculation that the courses are basically upscaled from Mario Kart Tour. It hasn't been confirmed, so you can take that as you will, but it could provide a clue to what we could expect from the 40 remaining tracks in the Booster Course Pass. So I started running numbers and looking for patterns based on Wave 1, as well as the retro courses in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Here's what I found. Let's first take a look at the pool of courses we're working from. 42 from Mario Kart Tour, 24 that have been used as a retro track only once, and 32 that have never returned as a retro course. I bring those up in particular because these categories make up Wave 1 of the DLC. There are 6 courses taken from Mario Kart Tour, even if they don't originate there, including Paris Promenade, 7's Toad Circuit, 64's Choco Mountain, Tokyo Blur, Super Circuit Sky Garden, and Ninja Hideaway. The 2 that remain are Wii's Coconut Mall, which was a retro course in Mario Kart 7, and DS's Shroom Ridge, which is the first time it has ever been used as a retro course. Before I get to the other new tracks, it's worth figuring out which of the Paris Promenades and Tokyo Blurs have been used for the DLC, as there are 3 variations of the former and 4 of the latter. Tokyo Blur was simple to figure out from the footage, as the characters pass under the Kaminari Mon, which is only featured in Tokyo Blur 4. Paris Promenade is decidedly more difficult, as it only really shows the Eiffel Tower, a feature of all 3 variations. That said, Paris Promenade 3 does not go under the tower, and this course seems to do so, making it likely that the DLC version will be based on Paris Promenade 1 or 2. Either way, it's highly unlikely that multiple variations of the same tour track will appear in the DLC. Perhaps they'll take a page from Excite Bike Arena though, and have the track shift between the different variants. That would add more perceived value to the package. Now, trying to attach patterns to anything Nintendo does is a fool's errand, but I'm gonna try anyway. You fool! Nintendo pulling mainly from Mario Kart Tour makes sense, especially with the more cartoonish style of the new tracks. It takes a little less effort, and Tour has already brought many classic courses to a more modern graphical style. So it stands to reason that the majority will be brought from Tour, much like Wave 1. Likewise, I believe almost every Mario Kart 7 track will be in the DLC, as it's a common source to pull from. That leaves the decidedly trickier retro courses that have never come back before. Now, let's take a look at the other Mario Kart Tour tracks. Based on the Wave 1 pattern, it seems 30 courses of this type will make the cut, and I'll be dividing them based on their original games. First, from Super Mario Kart are Ghost Valley 1, Vanilla Lake 1 or 2, and Koopa Troopa Beach 2. Mario Kart Tour is loaded with Super Nintendo tracks, but they cover a lot of themes that are already in the game. There's no need for another Mario Circuit or Donut Plains, and Choco Island's theme is already covered by Wave 1's Choco Mountain. Following this idea, the Mario Kart 64 Tour tracks will include Calamari Desert and Frappe Snowland. It's possible Koopa Troopa Beach will also make the cut, but not alongside the SNES version. I would think it'd have to be one or the other. As for the Mario Kart Super Circuit course and tour, I think only Cheep Cheep Island and Sunset Wilds will make the cut, as there are already plenty of variations to Bowser's Castle. Double Dash is definitely easier to determine, as it only has one course and tour that's not in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, Dino Dino Jungle. Next up is Mario Kart DS, which will likely include Luigi's Mansion, Waluigi Pinball, and Airship Fortress. DK Pass also came to Mario Kart Tour, but that's remarkably similar to Wii's DK Summit. But I believe that has a better chance of getting in, considering Tour only features 2 courses from that game. So we should see both DK Summit and Maple Treeway. That just leaves Mario Kart 7, and it should be noted that both Mario Kart 8 and Tour take a lot from this game. In fact, all but 2 original courses from 7 can be found in either 8 or Tour. Not only that, but the same applies to every retro track in 7, except 4 of them, technically 5. Coconut Mall was another holdout, but the Wave 1 DLC fixed that, and I'll come back to the other 4 retro tracks later. For now, I believe we can expect to see Daisy Hills, Cheep Cheep Lagoon, Shy Guy Bazaar, Rock Rock Mountain, Wario Shipyard, Rosalina's Ice World, Bowser's Castle, and Rainbow Road in this DLC. The only exception is Mario Circuit, and that's for the same reasons as previous Mario circuits. As for the original Mario Kart Tour courses, that leaves us with New York Minute, London Loop, Vancouver Velocity, Los Angeles Laps, Merry Mountain, Berlin Byways, Sydney Sprint, and Singapore Speedway, bringing the total tour-based courses to 30. That leaves the final 10, 5 returning retro courses and 5 brand new ones. And considering that so much of Mario Kart 7 has already ended up in Tour, it's easy to imagine the remaining retro courses from the game will appear in the DLC. This includes Mario Kart 64's Luigi Raceway, Double Dash's Daisy Cruiser, and Wii's Koopa Cape and Mushroom Gorge. But what about the final track? Considering how little it's represented in Tour and 7, I believe the final returning retro track will be from Double Dash. This leaves 6 options: Luigi Circuit, Mushroom Bridge, Peach Beach, DK Mountain, Waluigi Stadium, and Mario Circuit. Of these, I believe Peach Beach has the best chance, as it was brought back on Wii and has a unique theme compared to the others. That said, I wouldn't be surprised if Annie made the list. Which brings me to the final 5 courses that will return for the first time. And I'll be honest, I don't really have a method for these. I just think 64's Wario Stadium, Super Circuit's Broken Pier, Double Dash's Mushroom City, and Wii's Toad's Factory and Moonview Highway would be fun additions that never had a chance to shine again. So those are my shaky predictions for the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass. I do think the majority will originate from the Mario Kart Tour framework, but there's always the possibility that Nintendo will offer more surprises than I'm expecting. Or less. Either way, I'm just happy to have an excuse to play more Mario Kart. But do you have any theories of your own? And what do you think of my picks?
What an asshole!
Let us know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to Good Vibes Gaming, hitting the like button, and ringing that bell. We also have a Patreon at patreon.com/gvgaming with plenty of extra perks. Until next time, bye.